must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for being with us this morning. My name is Miriam Ogutu. The show is Good Morning Africa, and we're coming to you from here in Nairobi, where Kenyans are excited so much today because after 19 years of hiatus, Safari Rally is back, and as we speak right now, I think it should be commencing somewhere in the city, and we shall look at that on our special coverage today. But before I bring in the panelists and before we get into the headlines this morning, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest figures of COVID-19 and Kenya. This morning, the total number of confirmed cases is standing at 180,498 cases, and a recovery so far 123,363, and the death toll is 3,514. Uganda 74,200, and the number of people who have since recovered from Uganda is 50,085. And the death toll has also gone up to 752 cases. And then the world figures have surpassed 180.3 million cases, with recoveries right now over 165.095 million cases. And the death toll worldwide right now topping at 3,907,592. So that is where we are according to the figures that we have for COVID-19, and of course they're subject to change as different countries continue to update the latest statistics. So before we get into the headlines, this morning I'm joined by Samuel Tawish, a journalist from Nairobi. Samuel, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, my colleague, panelist, Douglas Bundi Kirimi, and indeed everyone who is tuned in to watch this program this morning. It's a great pleasure to be part of this program this morning.
Very well, nice to have you. And we do also have Douglas Kirimi, a politician right now vying for an MCA seat after the death of the predecessor there. Douglas Kirimi, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam, and also to my friend Oresa Senator Wish Samuel, and also to our viewers across the world, and also to our crew that make it happen every day at our headquarters in Nairobi. Thank you for having me on the show, Miriam. Thank you.
Can you remind me the name of your ward, please, because I keep forgetting?
Oh, thank you. I'm running in a ward called the Kiagu ward in Meru County, where the MCA died out of cancer, and also there are so many people who are running there, and you can only wish me all the best and pray for me. I'm going to win. Thanks.
All right. Yes, that's all I can do. I don't have money, but that's all I can do. I can only wish you the best and pray that you win. All the best, Kirimi. The Star newspaper headline this morning, 26 constituencies in limbo, risk scraping. IABC warns BBI referendum might pose a challenge to boundaries review. And then just down there, blow to Uhuru as allies join Ruto camp. And then auditor queries KEMSA 28 million Kenya shillings plastic tender. What? Be now buying plastic at that much. And then at the Standard newspaper, the main headline, the Raila NASA gamble. 4 NASA principals are walking a tightrope as far as the future of the troubled coalition is concerned. Besides time eating into their plans to dump each other, the design of the coalition agreement does not insulate them from the vagaries of hard politics a full year into the election. And then the main pictorial on the Standard newspaper, Frills, thrills as Safari Rally makes loud comeback after 19-year hiatus. The global rally showpiece resumes on Kenyan soil with a super special stage at Kasarani before snaking its way to Naivasha for the real thing. The story, there's a special coverage of that on page 3, 54, 55, and 56 of the Standard newspaper. And just beside that, no new constituencies before 2022 election. The electoral agency has ruled out any possibility of drawing new boundaries for constituencies before the next election. And then just up there, trouble in Uhuru's paradise as 4 MPs switch camps, and then struggling counties get 43 billion Kenya shillings, and they'll have like how many days for them to use this money before the next financial year starts, the 1st of July. Okay, so we'll have some money injected in our economy. We'll see how they'll spend it. And then Kenya's super rich defy COVID-19 and how big tech gifted police area data. All right. And then we turn our attention to the Daily Nation and CBC, new plan for junior secondary. The space hurdle for some children transition to high school will come with no change of scenery following CS George Magoha's revelation that select primary schools will be upgraded to host the junior secondary wings when the pioneer class crosses over in 2023. And then will he bounce back? Sonko's fate now rests in the judge's hand. And then ODM, why we need Kalonzo and Mudavadi. And then the main pictorial there, finally, the Safari Rally action starts. And let's just start with that story about Sonko on page 12 before we get into the Safari Rally, because I think that will be our main topic this morning. And as a concerned Nairobi City resident, I think I need to know what's happening there on this page 12. All right, so the High Court will today determine whether former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko was lawfully impeached by County Assembly and Senate, a verdict he hopes will reinstate him to the position. A 3-judge bench handling a consolidated case on the impeachment and vetting, appointment, swearing in and assumption of office of Deputy Governor Anne Kananu will deliver the judgment. The bench, appointed by Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, comprises Justice Said Chitembwe and Weldon Korir and Wilfrida Okwany. The case had been filed by Mr. Okia Omutata, the Law Society of Kenya, Thirdway Lance, and Ms. Kananu, among others. The former City Hall Chief's legal team is exuding confidence that they have presented a watertight case and Mr. Sonko impeachment will be nullified. Samuel Tawish.
Oh, very well. Thank you once more, Miriam, and everyone who is watching. Without forgetting, of course, Mheshimiwa Douglas Bundi Kirimi himself, who is, of course, with us this morning in this program. Miriam, you won't be surprised, and neither will I be surprised that maybe the court might as well overturn the verdict by the Nairobi County Assembly as well as the Kenya Senate. Because again, when you go into, when you look into how the courts have been making their rulings in the past, if it's anything to go by, it clearly tells you that many times it's not more of the facts that are being argued, it's not more of the legal implications, but it's more of the convenience that we have seen the courts actually becoming part and parcel of the entire game that is being played. Because again, Sonko has been very confident, especially through the courts, that maybe his impeachment is going to be overturned. We wait to see. I've been able to actually see the kind of submissions that the lawyers have made and the counter submissions that, of course, the respondents as well have had in as far as this case is concerned. And therefore, Miriam, we wait and just see how it's going to pan out. But I will not personally be surprised that the court might as well overturn this, because they did not necessarily look into the legal matters, legal arguments. They did not necessarily look into the facts. It's been a norm, and it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of hours before this comes to pass, Miriam. We are likely going to have maybe Governor Sonko or the former governor for Nairobi being reinstated as governor for Nairobi. Don't be surprised, Miriam.
Okay. And of course, Nairobians had a lot to say yesterday, and I think a lot of them had become very comfortable with what General Badi was doing in the city. So they're saying whether, he's legal or not, I think service delivery is what a lot of Nairobians, wanted, and of course others were arguing in support of Sonko being reinstated there. Good morning to you, Emi Okoye, and the rest of you who are watching us from outside the country and diaspora. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your presence this morning. Keep writing. I'll read some of your messages as we continue with the show. Douglas Kirimi, Samuel Tawish is telling us we should not be surprised if at all the court rules today to reinstate former Governor Mike Sonko.
Miriam, I'm not surprised about Tawish assertions that Mike Sonko is going to be reinstated today. There's a NIS report that said that Justice Weldon Koril is going to fight back through judicial activism and make sure that Mike Sonko goes back to office. And besides the point, they can do whatever they want to do because our judiciary, Miriam, has been able to misuse the court process and also misuse the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. When you look at it from the prisms of a poor person, a person that was denied services by a Mike Sonko that was impeached by the Harold Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Mike Sonko was investigated by investigative agencies and found to be a corrupt element in the Nairobi City County. As the head of Nairobi City County, Mike Sonko would afford a chopper ride for the daughter across the United States of America, priva public coffers, and do all manner of bad things in Nairobi City County. The coming of Nairobi Metropolitan Services has been able to see the poor people that have been able to buy, that were buying water, Miriam, clean drinking water at 20 shillings per 20 liters. 1 liter was costing 1 shilling. The coming of General Badi in Nairobi City County means that every slum dweller and every person that is in those areas can access clean drinking water free of charge, Miriam, free of charge. When Mike Sonko was running Nairobi City County, we only saw him and do theatrics around Pumwani, but we have been able to see coming up of new hospitals in Nairobi City County, and also we have been able to see new hospitals with the doctors, Miriam, something that I've been trying to see in the slums of Nairobi. Miriam, I can tell you, I don't live in a slum. I have never lived in a slum, but I have a testimony that so many people, so many of my friends who have had families there, who have lived there, have something to celebrate, that children can access prenatal health care. Women can access maternal health care. Women can access hospitals for their children. Men and women can go to hospitals, public hospitals, with the dignity and live with the dignity, Miriam, without the embarrassment of lack of drugs, clean running water in hospitals, lack of beds, and all that. Miriam, today we need to be able to come to a conclusion as the people of Kenya. Do we want a Mike Sonko that will be brought using judicial activism and corruption to come back and preside at City Hall? Or Miriam, are we going to have a legal bypass and make sure, we are going to make sure at the end of the day, we are having a Nairobi that we can be able to be happy about? Today, nobody, including Samuel or Tawish, is happy today that people in slums can access clean drinking water. People in Nairobi slums can access Medicare. People can access every service that they require in these slums, Miriam. But today, Mike Sonko is going to come back. There is no doubt Mike Sonko is coming back. But the coming of Mike Sonko is a coming back of corruption, coming back of public theatrics and embarrassment to our city. Who wants that? We can have a legal bypass over the same. We can have a legal bypass where the poor people can access services versus a Mike Sonko that spends money on his children, wife, and girlfriends. Miriam, at the end of the day, this money is meant for Nairobians. We need a public vote on how our monies can be used, whether it is through NMS or whether it is through Mike Sonko that we can drag to courts. Miriam, a man that has cases that are supposed to absent him through the anti-corruption court, to absent him to prison, is roaming around Milimani Law Courts today to be reinstated as a governor in the Nairobi City County. It is his democratic right. He has his day, you have his day today, but the people of Nairobi will have their day. Because, Miriam, it is frustrating to take leaves to these courts, and these courts keep reinstating leaves back into office to continue plundering and preferring of public resources, Miriam. It beholds my doubts, it beholds and also beats logic why our courts are doing this great injustice to the people of Kenya. And history shall remember them unkindly for what they are doing. I know Mike Sonko has his rights as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya to appeal, and also for the Deputy Chief Justice to set up the bench that was set up to listen to that case. But at the end of the day, Miriam, was Mike Sonko corrupt? Yes. Did Mike Sonko steal from the public? Yes. Does Mike Sonko belong to prison? Yes. Is he in prison? No. Is he going to come back as the Nairobi Senate governor? Yes. Is he supposed to come back? No. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, the High Court will today determine whether former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko was lawfully impeached by the County Assembly and Senate, a verdict he hopes will reinstate him to the position. Professor Jared Onyari as a Nairobian. Professor, good morning.
Yes, Miriam. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
And my fellow panelists and the rest of our viewers. That's a very interesting question, Miriam. He has filed a case in court, and the parties have gone there and they have argued. So the judge is going to make a determination, Miriam. I will be commenting from the point of ignorance, without looking at the judgment which will before the case and against the case. But Miriam, from where we sit, yesterday we were discussing about corruption and how judiciary is a weak link in assisting the people of this country, especially the residents of Nairobi. Miriam, this man was tried before the county assembly. He had an opportunity to present himself, and I don't know whether he used to ignore, but he had that opportunity. Miriam, the impeachment was passed, and then it went to the Senate. In the Senate, Miriam, it was not only done at a committee level where you may say that people were private, Miriam. It was done on the floor of the Senate. And Miriam, you could even see there how he was very unable to explain himself. So Miriam, so from where I sit, Miriam, here is that it will be an unfortunate thing for the court to reinstate him, because now it will confirm my fears that the judiciary will be after state capture. They want to capture the state, Miriam. You know, it's one harm of the government, and when they are supposed to interpret and the law, Miriam, now they want to execute the law now. It will be a very interesting case, Miriam. Let us wait for the ruling. That's when we comment comprehensively. Why you could be just deciding to look at the rights and the liberties of an individual, and you assume many. And Miriam, Chapter 4 of the Kenyan Constitution on the Bill of Rights, although it is being said to be very progressive, Miriam, it is going to haunt this country for many years. I'm telling you, it's going to haunt this country for so many years. Because everybody will just walk from the bush and goes to court, and I've seen it happening, saying that their rights have been violated, they have been discriminated. And life, who tells you life is not full of discrimination, Miriam? Thank you, I submit.
Okay, thank you. Samuel Tawish, I see your hand is up.
Well, Miriam, something I just needed to clarify is that I was not giving my submissions with the authority or with certainty that Governor Mike Sonko might as well, or rather is going to be reinstated. But what I meant is that Governor Sonko may as well be reinstated as governor, because it has happened in the past. You saw what happened, I believe it was in Wajir, if I'm not wrong, just this year, a couple of months ago, too, or so, when we had the governor having been impeached, the deputy governor sworn into office as governor, and then we have courts again reinstating the same governor. So it was actually conflicting in as far as how that was going to pan out. And that is why I was telling you, because looking into the past, the tradition, what the courts have been able to do in the past, it points to a likelihood that they might as well reinstate Mike Sonko as governor for Nairobi, like Professor Onyari has did said, because the judiciary has been in power tussle with the state, with the executive to be particular. They have been in power tussles with the legislature, and they will be taking this opportunity to try again and steal the show, taking this opportunity to try again and flex their muscles with the executive. But as Bundi did say, maybe I didn't get him right, but I'm one of the people who is quite impressed with the services being provided by the Nairobi Metropolitan team. led by General Badi. He's done quite an impressive job. I think most Nairobians today are very happy, and even those who are tourists who are visiting Nairobi today will be very, very happy with the kind of new developments that the NMS is doing in Nairobi. And therefore, it's the hope and aspirations, the desire of most Kenyans, especially those who reside in Nairobi, that the same continues even as we head into next year's general election. So in the event that they rule maybe that Governor Sonko cannot be reinstated, then I think it would be a reprieve for most Nairobians, because as I've heard in the streets, at least they do not expect that Sonko is going to come back to office. But whatever kind of verdict they're going to give, let's prepare for the same, Miriam, and tackle it from there.
Okay, thank you so much. Samuel, I wish, all right, another story here that also is very important on page 6 of the Standard newspaper. Before we get into the Safari Rally, because I'm really excited to look at what is happening there at the capital city. Now, no new constituencies before polls, says IEBC. It will be impossible to create new constituencies before next year's elections. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has declared the earliest the boundary delimitation can be completed is March 2023. The Building Bridges Initiative had proposed a creation of 70 constituencies. IEBC CEO Hussein Marjan also said financial constraints and legal battles are a major hindrance in discharging their mandate ahead of the general election. Douglas Kirimi, are you surprised by this new revelation?
Miriam, I've said before, and I want to be very clear. I want to be held on record for my words and not anything that people understand. We cannot go to elections the way we are today. We cannot go to elections with this IBC the way it is constituted. Actually, a court of law has ruled that IBC is improperly constituted. It's not properly constituted. And Miriam, if we go to elections without reforms so that we can be able to entrench into our constitution and also to IBC and our institutions what the people have said they would want to have in their own country, it beats logic why people want to go to elections in the next year. Why do you want to go to elections with an improperly constituted IBC? If I ran for president today, Miriam, and you told me that my election is going to be stolen like some rumors have always fried around, I agree with my brand and sweat that, or as a senator, we should not agree to have been defeated by Douglas Kiremi because IBC is improperly constituted. Even Professor Jared Onyari, a man of God, a chaplain at university, he can never agree to lose an election because IBC is improperly constituted. We need IBC to be giving credible things and things that can be achieved. And that's why I'm proposing that we add 1 or 2 elections, 2 years, to our election calendar so that we can be able to correct the cycles that we have been always going through one election to another. And always for IBC, there is a way you can work things out and make sure that they work to the whims and qualms of the people of Kenya. Those are your employers. Those are the taxpayers. And when I speak, I not only speak for myself, I speak for other people who cannot have a platform like this to be able to raise their issues. I know IBC is not properly constituted. IBC is not properly mandated to be able to do that. Why? Because they are telling us what the people want is an impossibility. How can you pre-exist the people and tell us it is in 2023? No problem. We can have elections in 2023 when we can have those constituencies and other things that IBC is running away from. We must be able to sanitize IBC and chase away Chebukati, have recruit new commissioners, have proper agents and also proper systems, proper technologies, not the KM's technology that costed a lot of billions of shillings. And at the end of the day, after using billions of dollars to come up with that technology, we were told that technology, almost 90% or 80% of the same was not used to Miriam. So I'm pro no reforms, no elections. We don't need elections when we cannot have reforms at IBC. An IBC that cannot work within 1 year, Miriam, to make sure that the whims of the people, the ideas and aspirations of the people are captured. The people would want a properly constituted IBC that can carry their mandate and that can be able to deliver on the wishes of the people of Kenya. We can even disband this IBC and form another one, Miriam, because at the end of the day, this is not the first commission in this country. It is a constitutional office, but we can be able to do some amendments to that office. And one amendment to this IBC is making sure that the chairman that presided over the previous election cannot preside over the next election. And this is Chebukati. Chebukati You need to be able to prepare to go home. You cannot preside over an next year election that we are not even sure that the people want. Why, Miriam? Because these are the people who gave the views. It is not President Kenyatta is retiring. He did not say that the people would need 70 constituencies. It is the people who said they would want their constituencies
Douglas,
done, Miriam.
What the CEO of IEBC was saying, if the constituencies were to be in place before the election, they require this amount of time because it's a lot of work to work on the statistics and all that, so that they'll be ready by then. And that will be next year in March, which will be way behind the schedule.
No problem, Miriam. No problem. We can be able to go to Parliament, use our members of Parliament, and take this year for more 6 months or 1 year, so that they can be able to prepare for the elimination.
So
they can prepare for the new constituencies. I'm proposing for 6 months or 1 year, so that we can be able to add more time to them. We are not in a hurry, Miriam. We must have reforms at IBC and chase everyone there from Chebukati to the janitor, people who are updating Facebook and Twitter in a bad manner that suggests that these people who continue supporting reforms in this country are not from this country, Miriam. This country is 4 of us. We need to be able to have 1 year or 2 years more. We can only add 1 more year to them so that they can be able to work properly.
Very well.
Yes, Miriam. No elections, no reforms. We cannot go to elections so that people will be sleeping on tarmac saying that and disturbing peace in the city, destroying property in the name of an election. No, Miriam. Reforms, then we can go to elections in 2023 or 2024.
Thank you so much. So, Douglas, what I hear you to be saying is perhaps the elections next year should be postponed.
Yes, Miriam, I want to go on record saying that I would want for 2 years. But
yes or no,
I would want 2 years, Miriam. But wait, the constitution says it can only be extended 6 months to 1 year. That is a lot of time for them to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Postponement.
Okay. You took so many words to say you wanted a postponement, Douglas. But I hear you and I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. So this is what IEBC CEO Hussein Marjan also said. He said low budget allocation has affected audit of the ICT system, so they've not done that. Update of the voter register and view of Kenya Integrated Election Management System schemes. The Commission had in the past indicated plans to reuse the 2017 KEMS kits despite complaints citing lack of funds. All programs are competing for same limited resources that are not even available. So what I hear this IEBC CEO to be saying, for a successful free and fair election next year to happen, IEBC may not be prepared to give us that. That is what I hear him to be saying. Samuel Tawish, I don't know what you're hearing him to be saying.
Very well. Thank you once more, Miriam. I will attempt to be as objective as possible, Miriam, when it comes to these matters, IEBC, because they are very serious. They strike to the heart and soul of this nation, because, again, in most cases, it's because of elections that we have always actually almost gone for our brothers or sisters' blood or neck. Miriam, like my brother Douglas Bundi Kirimi has said, I think it is important for us to be fair and to say that in as much as we are calling for the establishment of the new constituencies, the same must really align with the constitutional timeline. And as you have suggested or alluded to, if it is therefore not tenable for us to go into an election or to have the new constituencies put in place ahead of next year's August general election, or what then will be the necessary thing to do? It might be against the constitution, it might be painful, it might not be popular, but again, what is it that we must do so that we heal this nation once forever? I remember, allow me, Miriam, the latitude to build up the case, because again, how did we get ourselves to the suggestions that we should even get the new constituencies? And I think the acronym IEBC stands for Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. I want to submit that the IEBC has been sleeping on its job. How come that they have just woken up today and telling Kenyans that it is late, we cannot have the new constituencies in place? I mean, was it not in their obligation, was it not in their mandate and responsibility to ensure that they do this? Because they have been in the office for the last I think over 7 or so years, ever since Chebukati came into office before the 2017 general election. So they have had all this time really to do this. Only that they have been sleeping on their job for them to wake up and tell Kenyans that the constitutional timelines and looking onto the election next year, it will not be tenable for us to really have these constituencies in place as we head to 2022 general election. But Miriam, being a woman for your case, and I'm sure you're a great cook, you cannot just cook for the sake of it. You must get all the ingredients in place for you to make a sumptuous meal. And if, for example, the lack of having the underrepresentation when it comes to constituencies is one reason why some Kenyans choose or opt for chaos, why don't we have these constituencies put in place so that we can avoid the same? Remember the handshake and the creation of the BBI, the Building Bridges initiatives, the suggestions and proposals that Kenyans have put forth. I think the creation of the new constituencies is one of the fundamentals that Kenyans really want to be anchored in our constitution through the Building Bridges initiative, Miriam. And therefore, it will be defeatist in itself if we can just assume and say whatever kind of suggestions or issues that Kenyans have had through the BBI can actually be swept under the carpet because we must have election all the same. The question I will be asking you, Miriam, what happens, for example, if Treasury tomorrow tells us we do not have money to conduct an election? Don't you think we'll have to postpone this election? Nothing is cast in stone. I mean, so many other nations have done that. I mean, there are scenarios that can push a country or a nation to postpone or not have an election altogether, depending on the situation or circumstances that dictate the same. So we do not want to view elections next year as though it's something that is cast in stone. That is something that is a must do or die. It is something that must be done regardless of whether it poses a threat to the national stability and peace and security or not. So, Miriam, I think these are some of the things we really need to look at as a people and put forth suggestions that if it is about the timelines that IBC is calling upon, let us not be in haste to go into an election when we feel that Kenyans are not satisfied enough, that maybe there are issues that make them to fight whenever we have an election, pre or post-election, some of the issues that we are not going to address when we get into 2022. So we must more be focused on addressing these issues that are captured in the BBI, more so when it comes to constituencies, when it comes to inclusivity, because again, one more reason is that a majority of Kenyans feel that this government or the Kenyan government is not as inclusive as they would otherwise want, that most regions are actually left out when it comes to the sharing of the national cake. And that is why you see they have put forth suggestions that perhaps we should create more positions in form of prime minister, deputy prime minister, and expand the executive, and also have an opposition leader who has actually a running office, an office that has its own budget. You get the point, Miriam? So if we can assume all these kind of proposals and suggestions that Kenyans have put forth, it therefore means that we are going in disregard of the wishes and aspirations of the Kenyan people in as far as having stability, peace, and inclusivity in this country is concerned. So without much ado, Miriam, I think IEBC must reconsider that position and even suggest that if it is a must for us to have the new constituencies in place, therefore we can have to postpone the election altogether. I submit, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much. And from what I'm hearing IEBC to be saying, I think that could be another option. I prefer bringing a doctor, a professor.
Miriam, we are a country which is guided by rule of law. And we have got our constitution. Miriam, this is our writing document, Miriam, which tells us what to do. This same constitution, Miriam, says that every second Tuesday of the 5th year, we go for election. And that being the case, what we need to do is to obey the constitution, Miriam. Even if Miriam are aware we are going to create the new constituencies, are those people not represented now, Miriam? Those constituencies will, once we have agreed in principle, they will be created in the future. Miriam, when it was in BBI, these people came and said, "Oh, we are not properly presented," and the case was argued, Miriam. So if we don't have time, and I know, Miriam, on this case, I am with the IBC, Miriam. You cannot be able to demarcate the constituency within 1 year, Miriam. My constituency is one of the beneficiaries, Miriam, and from what is on the ground, Miriam, people are not even going to agree that we are going to go to this side. I can hear the conversation at the local level, Miriam, and say that we want to be together. So there are so many other factors, and Miriam, those who will be aggrieved, Miriam, they will go in court, Miriam. So what we need to do, Miriam, this is the very motive. We need ample time, Miriam, to make these constituencies, Miriam. And let us be very strict, Miriam. Miriam, you know the problem with most people in this country and human beings, Miriam, you think you are going to be in this country in this world for eternity. You are going to live forever. You are the ones who has got the answers and solutions to the problem facing in this country, Miriam. We are at the stage, Miriam, we act the play, and when our time comes, we go. The President Uhuru Mugai Kenyatta, has done his part. History has recorded for him what has been able to do, Miriam. When the second Tuesday of the 5th year, Miriam, next year will come, we will go for the elections, we will elect our leaders, Miriam. And let me tell you, Miriam, the Bible say, thou shalt not kill. Do people kill? The Bible says, thou shalt not steal. Do people steal? So, Miriam, what happens here, Miriam, is, it is simply because you will make these laws, Miriam. But people, Miriam, if they have not changed their mindset and their attitudes and their thinking, Miriam, we will have problems, Miriam. See what we are saying about Nairobi County, where we have discussed this issue a while ago. Common sense tells you that this man need not to come to office. But otherwise, you can see what it is, Miriam. So what we need to do, Miriam, reality has come. Reality has come, Miriam, that time is not on our side. The better we can do, Miriam, is to get prepared over the next generation. And the way you are trying to remove Chebukati from office, it is not as easy as people think, Miriam. This is an independent office. You have to set that tribunal. You have to have reasons why you have to remove him.
Yes.
To get out of living on the job. These are some of the process we could have started much earlier. We are in trouble, Miriam, and as much as we want to do, let us hope that we recruit the new commissioners, four of them, and we go for general election next year, Miriam.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor. Dr.
Nice submission.
Prof. Miriam, can I come in?
Yes. It's your turn.
Yes.
And I believe, Stephen, can you take this shot? I'm in a different attire because the East African Safari Rally is back. Thank you very much. Take the shot, the whole, know that I've represented Punchline Africa television, and I'm going all the way to Naivasha. Miriam, in a few minutes, I mean, part of the road is cleared by us. It has been cleared, and I'm happy you also wore red. That's very good. It seems we've communicated through the spirits of Nashaye, Nasai. So thank you very much, Professor, this morning. You have been one of the revolutionaries that we have been looking at. But this morning you have let me down. Tawish, thank you very much. A constitution is not cast in a stone. That you will go for an election whether you want or not. What about if the government says there's no money? Will Ruto pay his stolen money to conduct an election? I'm just giving a scenario. How many of you, are you able to sell your plot to contribute towards elections? I'm asking, Prof, will you? If the European Union comes in to give you money, you must be able not to argue after the election has been conducted. Because your sovereign state, you are now selling your sovereignty to another entity, like a Kabila, to say we cannot hold an election. I want people to see me, maybe they think I am a different man today. I hope, Stephen, you've taken that shot. I'm ready for the rally today. Don't waste much time on who is Chebukati. Chebukati was asked, and Chebukati was asked Where did you put the spoiled box ballot papers? The lawyers of the IEBC could not even identify whether in the dustbin, whether in a tin, whether they were mixed with the valid ballots. So you tell me, Prof. Champlain, even Jesus said, don't mix the old wine with new wine when you know one might not be sweet and the other one might not be sour. Sir, you teach us every morning. I saw you in the prison yesterday, in a video in the prison. What were you doing there? I don't know. I have not even asked you. Was it visitation? I am shocked. Yesterday I got shocked. In fact, I got numb. These are pictures that Stephen should bring on the screen. You do quite a lot of community work, isn't it? And I'm happy that was community work. Like now, today I'm doing community work. See me in this overall. I am on the track for the safari rally. And I'm here to report to the studio, direct mobile unit of Punchline Africa TV. Wachana na mtu Chebukati aende nyumbani. Tutamulipa pesa zake. Tutamulipa pesa zake. You think we don't know the truth? Professor, you were here when we brought videos of Mr. Chebukati meeting a court. Didn't you see them? You saw them. You contributed. So, all along, and let Kenyans know, and let everybody, including the Punchline panelists, that this was a scheme to derail BBI, which Professor likes so much. And the Professor without BBI, hii election yenu itakuwa ya machozi. Me, my flight KQ01002 will be available. It is up to you. Don't say I'll run away because I never told you. If you have not rectified the IEBC, the election, as Krieger told you, you have been delaying. You know, when the BBI first came out, Chebukati went to the BBI. Have you seen the scheme, how it has been made? And I want people to listen to me carefully. He went to the BBI. He did not tell them, don't do the constituencies. Immediately he came out, when the first bombers came out, Chebukati now brings out the issue of the constituencies. You get the point? Why didn't he do that? It is a scheme, a well-knitted, you know, what do we call it? A catalog is not even a catalog. A well-planned, orchestrated plan to derail Uhuru Kenyatta from achieving the dream of BBI. Chebukati is a friend of William Samoei Ruto. They dine together. They meet regularly. If my friend doesn't know, I can't tell you more than that. Their meetings are well known. For you, if you want Chebukati, no problem. But the MPs, how many MPs want to go home now? How many? Wamuchomba. If Wamuchomba stood in Kiambu as a woman rep today, would she pass? Would Wamuchomba pass? Now, why is it that Ruto is collecting thieves? People who have stolen. Ruto is acting like a Robin Hood of Nottinghamshire. You remember Nottingham? The man who collected people who have committed crimes and put them to liberate against the king. If you have not read those books, I recommend you read them. Read them and find out how Robin Hood worked his way out to power. 2, I agree a bit with Professor that the Constitution says August. But Miriam, in August, I hear there is variant 5 on the way. The conditions across in my country, Professor, your country you love so much, where you have been going to eat food, fish, fresh tilapia, and preach your Christianity, is in chaos. Why? Ugandans accepted to go to an election because of the constraint of term. The word term limit. Term limit. They should have gone to parliament to save the current government, gave it a mandate, and held elections when they have conquered COVID-19. Am I making some sense here, Miriam? Today, because I'm not talking to myself. If I'm talking to myself, I rather shut and go. Because for me, please, help me. I am saying Ugandans should have concentrated on extending the term limit of the president, the presidency, that President Museveni can hold on, because there is an emergency of a pandemic which declares a pandemic at least for 1 other year. Vaccinate people, let everybody. Britain, today in Britain, it can hold even 2 million elections. Tell me why, Mr. Chamberlain. Britain can hold elections today because they have vaccinated 90% of their people. 90% have been vaccinated. I want you to tell me one African country where 90%. I want you to tell me how many people in Kenya have vaccines in their blood today. How many? How many surely? And now you surely you are calling people to go to West Pokot and crowded the way they crowded. You are calling people to go to Kisumu. Miriam, where you come from, you cannot go there today. Can you? Are you able to go there to Siaya? It has been blocked. Why? There is a pandemic.
Dr. Matsanga, why is action not being taken to the person who is frauding COVID?
Please, you talked when I was quiet. Professor, I'm now coming to hit your point. That's why you are eager to finish me. But let me finish you first. Let's talk nicely here. Hello? Talk nicely here. You are now not able to see your parents. Even you can't pass Kisumu. You are now locked.
Nyamira is locked.
Yeah, you are locked. Why are you locked? Because you thought politics is better than life. And now you are telling Uhuru Kenyatta that let's go because of August 2nd is coming to end. Later. Is election going away? No. Is democracy running away? No. Is the economy running away? Yes. But the bottom-up politics of Ruto cannot change the economy of Kenya. Woo, la ya Mongo. Hakuna. Bottom-up is bottom friendship of women, not bottom-up of economy. The economy of Kenya needs to be fixed. When we have got, the economy of Kenya needs to be fixed. When we have got corrupt people going to committee, jailed for corruption, jailed for economic crimes, jailed for destroying this country, jailed for picking 10%. Yesterday you were on the link, Miriam, a link between corruption and the judicial system. The link, the weakest link, Miriam, is the judiciary that is killing us. It's the judiciary that cannot sentence. The weakest link is the judiciary stopping BBI, which is going to change. If you have taxed Kenya's money, you don't take 1 year. Have you jailed Chidero? Have you jailed Chidero? Where Professor, have you jailed Chidero? Wasn't he the first governor to be cited for corruption? How many cases? Show me one case. Then you say you are doing a bottom-up. Bottom-up, my foot. What bottom-up? Unless you do a bottom-up of calling women and enjoy them. But there's no bottom-up here. Yes, you can't change the economy of Kenya when you have not fought corruption. You cannot go into an election in Kenya when you are still telling Uhuru Kenyatta that is useless. You are still angry when you are telling Raila Odinga that he cannot go to Nyeri, Mount Kenya people because he's Luo. When at the right way, when Professor, we do conflict resolution together. We started this subject. Usiende hapo. Don't give these people a chance of election. Like the format we have. Brother, we shall have a lot of bad work. You can't hold an election in Kenya that way. With Ruto involved in this election, with Ruto involved as a candidate, even if he has won, he would want to fight. Wewe umjui? Ulimuona alisimama kwa meza hapo 2007. Ati Raila mwenyewe did not stand on the table. Wewe atelele, boss, people died. Watu walikufa wewe. Yenye msilete hii shida bwana. We are all African. You go to hell with that. Hiyo enda ambia Mungu. Nani ako, kila mtu ako nayo. Ambia Mungu wenye naomba kila kitu. Usiambie sisi. No way. No way. Watu walikufa because of violence coming out of elections. If other Africans cannot shout at you, Kenya is the pillar of East and the Central African Republic. Kenya is the pillar of the engine of this Great Lakes region. If Kenya goes to elections, it starts fighting like it was fighting in 2017. Uganda will be affected. Tanzania, Somalia, Ethiopia will be affected. Now, tell me, I've sat properly. You tell me how you are going to conduct this election with a man who says the server is still not available. 4 years, how many years gone? 8 years gone, the server is not open. I'm putting my case. I'm putting my case forward as a motor rally driver tonight, this morning, and as an investigative journalist. Some people, when they see me on TV, they think that I'm not an investigative journalist. I am. I'm a trained political scientist, but an investigative journalist. And when I speak my word, the international community listens. I'm telling you, there's a country in Europe listening to what I'm saying. You can't hold this type of elections in a pandemic. Then tomorrow, out of 54 million Kenyans, 52, only 1 million are vaccinated. You are telling me you want to hold election. Hold it, and then later on prepare. I will not be there. For me, I've been vaccinated. Can I tell you? Yeah. So will you take the vaccine out of me? I'm telling you the truth. I've been vaccinated. Because I am above 58. You people who are below 58 can play with life. I can't play with life, Wana. But a country that has not even vaccinated 1 million people, you want an election. Okay. The Constitution is very clear, Professor. I agree with you. But now, the Constitution and the hospitals being full, the governors are crying there is no medicine. You want to talk about election. If I were President Uhuru Kenyatta, you know what I would do? I would ban this political rally anywhere. Kama hata kama huyu mwenye anamanga huyu deputy, the one you call deputy huyu. This one. Funga. President, you have powers. Funga yeye hakuna rally. And we concentrate on treating people. Kenyans want treatment, want vaccine now. People talking about, Jamen, Nyenye, Miriam, haven't you lost relatives? Some of us have lost relatives and friends out of this COVID. Don't you learn from the experience of Uganda? Mali. You know the first country that held the election. Tanzania across. We lost a full president who was addressing people like a Ruto is addressing people in West Pokot. Dr. William Ruto went to Turkey and got injection. Vaccinated. Are you vaccinated? Onyali, have you taken your second jab? Hello? I'm hearing, sir, Prof. That answers it all. Let's move on. Let's have election. Me, your brother, I have taken because my age dedicated. It says I should. I am telling you, one country in Europe is listening to me. And the 2 or 3, they will listen. I am telling you today, officially, this election here, Wachana, make reforms first. Some people, you know Miriam, let me cool down my sister. Some people say, oh, Karim Khan now has come as a chief prosecutor. We can go and bulldoze Kenyans and walk with your chest. You will be locked up. You will be locked up. Don't play. A small boy in Europe sleeping in a cardboard can apply your arrest. A small boy. Did you know that? Miriam, did you know that? The cases are not yet over. Maybe let me talk nicely so that it sinks. The cases are not yet over. The ICC cases are not over. Anybody in Europe can go and apply for a warrant to say, I want them completed. And where will you go? You will go back to the same court. You will not, until the chief prosecutor comes up and says, these cases are closed completely. Mlikuwa mnajua hiyo? Mlikuwa mnajua hiyo, Mr. Professor? Professor Chaplain.
I know.
You know. Anyway, for you, you know it. Miriam, do you know that? Do you know we have a problem at our hands? Do you know that? The cases are not complete. They are not finished. Any European who does not like any of these people will do it to injure Kenya. Why don't you change? They are waiting. They know next year you are about to do an election and you are going to burst into chaos, isn't it? Next year, they know. You think they don't have intelligence officers here? Those guys you see with number plate CD, what? Some of them are very senior people. They even go and lie in Mombasa like this. You think they are useless. No. They are gathering information. They know that once Kenya goes to election with the current IEBC, with the current setup without BBI, that's why the European Union came in to help. The Americans came in to help BBI. Am I wrong? They supported a journey of healing. Miriam, if I'm wrong, just open my kipindi ya Harare tuanze. Lakini kwangu, tafadhali naomba Wafula Chebukati asishike kura ya watu. Mwaka imekuja hii. No. He should first of all rest home. Let the government compensate him for having cancelled his constitutional mandate. There's a way to remove. I heard the professor saying it is complex. No. The parliament can initiate a debate to change the electoral commission through repealing the act, making Chebukati just a rotating man. Also go to the polling station to fight with the people, but not as a chairman. You said that, I can agree, but not Chebukati as the chairman. That is the one supervising the final vote tally, atatali wrongly for Ruto. Tutapata shida hapa, hata wewe mwenyewe. You are not standing in Nyamira as Ruto's candidate? Are you? By the way, I don't know because people are changing overnight. Douglas killing me. I don't know because I don't know. My brother professor is not answering me directly. Are you standing as Ruto's candidate? Yes or no? Are you ODM with Raila up to the end, like me? Professor, I was waiting for your answer so that I can know. You see now, Miriam, my sister, we have a problem. Let this TV not be only gloomy. We should laugh a bit. We have a problem. Professor is not yet decided on which party. Professor is an ODM diehard. I don't know whether he has abandoned because of late. I've seen him. No, stay there. Bwana, in Africa, wacha nikwambie professor. Iko ngumu like mawe ya rock ya Mount Kenya. Iko ngumu kutoa serikali kwa Afrika hii. It is only a naive government that can accept Tawish and the professor and the Wakili and Kilimi and then my senior anchor, best friend Miriam. It is only a naive government that allows an election to be taken by an opposition. Ruto is gaining now because Uhuru Kenyatta has not come back for pushback. But late, in another one month also, after the BBI ruling, Professor, after the BBI ruling, we shall make a comeback, a pushback. This is when you love us more. In fact, we shall be the best boys on line. Wait, push back. when even the Wamuchomba will want to run back. The government has not yet started. The government, look, finally, Miriam, Bob Wine created the crowds. Museveni never created the crowds. Where are we today? Where are we? Is Bob Wine not trotting the world? He has now gone to America and Britain, oh, on social media. He has become a Matsanga. Matsanga. He should have left this job for we retired RTD, retired Brigadier General, former UNLA officer, retired, should have left the job of doing social media to me. Because look, some people complain to me, Miriam, that I am on social media at my age. Tell me, what can I do in retirement? I'm asking you, Mama, what can I do? I have 10 grandchildren. They all know, all of them now, they are with this thing, the phone. Kata, kata, kata. We have to retire together. But Bob Wine has more energy. He did not utilize it. Museveni just came and won an election. No. So as a rally driver, finally, I'm going for the rally. And I will be communicating to you shortly, Miriam, from on the road near the Kenyatta International Conference Center. Believe me or not, it's a very exciting moment. This overall is just an overall. You can see it. So that in case my car has a problem, mechanical, I will open quickly the tire. So Kirimi, I forgot to invite you. But you are invited, I will tell you the location of Upitie. Asante sana, Professor Nyari, if you have any comment, I'm on listening for only 5 minutes. Then disappear, I'm ready. I've started the morning very well, in the morning, hammering some people like Dr. Sankok, who go around saying that you're tanga, finish. So my mission is whether we remain 1 or 2 professors, let's defend the president. The man has a constitutional right to finish his term, his legacy. Number 2 has come to dangerously destroy his legacy. Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga need support. Otherwise, this country will be left to go to the dogs. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, I think, had joined and has not. All right, he left the conversation. All right, very well. And so on our main topic of today, thrills as Safari Rally.
Miriam, before we go to the main topic, let me just put my record straight. It's simple. The doctor did not get me.
Okay.
Miriam, we were very progressive in with our PPI, and everything was on course. We have been stopped by the court by the five charges, Miriam. Because of rule of law, we are in the court of appeal. And for you, Miriam, to change the constitution or to change the date, Parliament has to change. Have we seen a good gesture from those characters that they can change? So I'm working with the scenario on what I'm trying to say and what the constitution is, even if it is as useless as it is. This is what we have. And I was trying to say that someone cannot be having the political meeting with impunity. Either the president, either the deputy president, either the prime minister. The Ministry of Health has given regulations. If you violate Miriam, I did say here on Wednesday that you get arrested. Why can't action not be taken to Deputy President Miriam? Do they fear him? And Miriam, let me tell you, I'm seeing Dr. Matsanga saying that after 90 minutes and we are post 90 minutes, Miriam, you see how the game becomes so sweet. But if you don't make use of the 90 minutes, Miriam, the 15 minutes you may be what? Miriam, we are on a periphery. And I know as a peace and conflict person, Miriam, whichever way it goes, Miriam, if we don't become sober, it will cause a conflict. And from where I sit, you know, I always say to aspire is not to become. Dr. William Samoei Ruto is aspiring to become the president, and he thinks he has become one. And he doesn't want even a second Miriam to be extended. And the other side, we are saying that Miriam, let us have the rules, change regulations, change IPC, Miriam, so that we go for proper and credible elections, Miriam. So we are on a hard stone and a hard rock, Miriam. From where I sit, we need a divine intervention. And Miriam, I agree with Dr. Matsanga. Kenya is not just like Tanzania. Kenya is not Uganda. Kenya is not Southern Sudan, Miriam. The strategic position of Kenya heads in the Great Lake region, Miriam, with the interest from the international communities, Miriam. You cannot joke with Kenya. So, Miriam, how I pray that we sober up and take this country forward. You know, I am very passionate and I love this country and I mean well for this country. We can always say, as Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18, why can't we come and listen together even if we don't agree? You can't kill me, I can't kill you. I submit, Miriam.
Well, thank you so much. The World Rally Championship flagging off ceremony in Nairobi today will affect traffic flow on major roads for about 6 hours. Some of the roads that will be affected include Thika Road, Uhuru Highway. Motorists have been urged to use alternative routes between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. Nairobi Traffic Boss Joshua Omutata has advised motorists and spectators to avoid risky incidences during the period. The vehicles will leave Safari Park Hotel to Kasarani Stadium around 6 a.m. Then, around 8 a.m., they will proceed to KICC via Thika Road for the ceremonial flag-off. During the period, there will be traffic disruption on some major roads, and we urge motorists to bear with us, he said. Around 12:45 p.m., the first vehicle will be flagged off, headed to Ngomongo, where spectators will be waiting for the real event. This is an international affair and will attract many, many people. So Safari Rally is back after 19 years of absence. Prof, I don't know if you ever experienced. I remember when we were children.
Why don't you ask me, Miriam?
Okay, go ahead.
I was born before the professor.
I have airtime. You are going to flag you off and you go. Miriam,
I should be asked because I'm the seniorest man here. I was born much earlier than professor. Professor in 1966.
Okay.
68, 69. There was still Safari, East African Safari Rally. And my father used to roll us in East African Kenya Airways. No, Kenya Railway. All the way from Mbale Station, kukuja kuangalia during Easter. So please, let me allow Professor to go ahead, but it would have been my pleasure.
Just go ahead. And
because I'm the only one who is well dressed for the rally.
Okay.
Professor knew this was a rally day, and he did not even wear his other costume. So he's not a rally fan.
We wanted to flag you off.
Okay, I agree to be
You don't flag yourself.
No, you flag me off. I'm going.
It's okay, Doc. Go
But
ahead.
Okay.
You will need Miriam, you will need my correspondence.
Yes.
Because there is no correspondence in the field. Okay.
All right, Doc. You have the opportunity now. Go ahead.
There is a very good thing about the Safari Rally. That out of all problems, it removed the people's tension. People were tensed. Easter was very good place. And as you go on Sunday, when it finally finishes, you know it used to be Easter holiday only. Not like now because of the pandemic. It should have been Easter last year, which had been planned. So that all that long holiday, the long holiday there, people would sit, they would sit at home, relax. And you know, most people used to go home up country in Nyamira, but they would even drive to come closer. The rally was not only Naivasha. This rally was the whole of Kenya. It will go up to Kajiado. It will come towards Malaba. Bungoma, we would run. All of us could come from Kenya, Uganda to come around there, Malekisi. It was a big thing, actually. And it united so many Africans, so many people, Europeans, they love for the motto, they love for. But one of the things why I'm wearing this overall today is road safety, which we don't have in Kenya Miriam. That's the point I want to make. Road safety. You are walking your child to school. A man does not stop at the pedestrian walk, the zebra crossing. He goes through and smashes, kills all of you. So my point why I'm wearing this uniform, this overall today, marked the name Dr. Matsanga, Pan-African rally. It has no other connotations. And as a journalist, is to bring the road safety awareness to the people of Kenya and East Africa. That as much as we want to learn to see the rally, the cars flashing off. Yesterday, the Kenyans started bringing Subaru. You saw the racing from Naga. So most of you have seen what is on the rail now, on the road. Medium, everybody was Subaru. I didn't know what the meaning was until I opened the video. People are racing. We are racing to death. We don't observe road safety regulations. And that's why this television is talking about the safety road regulations. I am in for the safety regulations, road safety. I want to do a show on road safety one day on this television, because most people, 3/4 of the disease that kills East Africans and Africans are motor accidents. Motor accidents. Malaria is gone. So now COVID has come, it will go. HIV, AIDS came and went. Leprosy, you don't see it. I don't know whether it's still in Nyamira or where, but Anyali can tell us that it is very difficult to see a leper now. It has been wiped out. There's no more leprosy. These diseases have disappeared. But one of the major diseases that is killing most Africans today is the road accidents. So Miriam, thank you very much. Those are my comments I wanted to make. I enjoyed so much East African Safari Rally. I used to come here. I used to be brought when I was young in my uniform. And we used to be selected. You know, you have to do, Miriam, before I go, I've remembered. You have to pass all the 10 questions of civics. Civics. I don't know whether, Professor, you studied civics.
I did.
Civics. There was a subject called civics.
History and civic.
Still there.
No, this one was civics. Yeah, it is still there.
It used to be called GHC.
Yeah, it did that later on. Your time of Ogundi pay anyway.
No, Daktari. No, Daktari.
No, yes. Ours was called civics. And
Yeah,
it
civics.
was an item you have to pass it.
But I suppose it's the same thing, Daktari. It was geography, history, and civics.
No.
Isn't it?
Mr. The truth is this. I will show you. I have my East African certificate. East African certificate of education, which I hold where I failed in mathematics. I have to admit, I got a 9, 0 in mathematics. And when it came to East African certificate, civics was one of the items I passed. Why I came for the rally, it was not even my father. It was the school that brought us here. Because I passed all the 10 questions. Which is the cleanest town in East Africa? Nakuru. Nakuru was the cleanest town in East Africa. Which was this? Who was the president of Kenya? Jomo Kenyatta. You pass. And I passed all that. I was put in the category. That's how I remember civics. What are you saying? Yeah, what? This thing J something so Gundipe. It came later. There are people who cannot spell the word vernacular without looking at the Google map. Close this and tell him spell vernacular. Vernacular. Sindio tunasema tunazungumza vernacular lugha. He can't spell. He fails the interview. Ogundipe. Yeah, tuelewane. Jameni. Tuelewane. That East African community collapsed. We were the last recipients of certificate of East African community. So my O levels, Tawishi has just Googled.
No, Daktari.
In a nutshell,
at least for me, Daktari, languages, English and Swahili was my best. I wouldn't quite get that wrong.
I know. I saw your certificate. So don't worry. Now, me, I failed mathematics. I don't want to lie to you. And I pretended to be an accountant, like Mr. Douglas Kirimi. Douglas Kirimi is the accountant. If you call Douglas as an accountant, your books will be banned in East and Central Africa. Are you an accountant? So for me, I do what I know best. Miriam, what I know best is English literature. I passed with a distinction. 1, kabisa English literature. That's why you see me singing Shakespeare, Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Those books are no longer at ease. The Wheat, Things Fall Apart, The Lion and the Jewel by Walter Nyika. All those things are in my head. We were forced to read and cram and then go and produce when a question comes. So I passed very well with 1 distinction. Then I came and passed English. Then surprisingly, Miriam, I passed biology and the physical science. No. What is it called? Physics and chemistry. It was a combined subject called physics and chemistry. Physical something. They say, what did they give? I passed those science. Dawish, I couldn't believe it. I passed biology. And then I passed one subject, very interesting in my life, geography. Very well, with a credit free. Then another interesting subject was distinction.
CRE.
Thank you very much. How did I know you have looked at my certificate? Exactly. Religious knowledge.
Yeah.
That's why my father said, eh, we have got a bishop in our go. So those are my, but mathematics and the medium, don't bring any calculation here on this TV. I will be ashaming you. I will answer zero. I don't know. I hate mathematics and anything to, that's why I hate calculating even money. And I've given the responsibility to Stephen to do the calculation. Thank you very much. Let me not waste your time. Let me allow you to prepare as I go to position myself. By the way, I've got a VIP card that allows me and Moses to be near there. So we shall be bringing it live. Are you not happy? Both of us are ready today. Thank you.
All right, so Doc, thank you so much. And now, after 19-year hiatus, normal transmission resumes with a special stage at Kasarani this afternoon that will send the cars to the Kenya Wildlife Training Institute Service Park in Naivasha. Some 58 drivers will be foraging for Lawrence in the wilderness over the 4 days after years of probing, pushing and praying. And I think we'll just end the show here. All right, and Doc, enjoy your time there at Kasarani. You'll bring us.
Thank you very much. And Miriam, there is a good comment there which is supporting me on IEBC. Have you seen it by Abdul Noor? It finishes professor.
Okay.
It's there. Good comment. Thank you. God bless you.
All right.
Hallelujah. I will be communicating shortly. So unless anybody wants to enjoy the ride with me, Mr. Kirimi, we can meet at Kasarani. But I'm going.
All right. For our viewers, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.